on
his
fucking
attitude
gambling.
on this, by the way, is look. You're talking to someone who I do not care about IP in the same way that you do. We have differing opinions on it.
You think that you should be able to take people's videos and re-upload them wholesale?
Well, not necessarily. I think
not necessarily.
I think you should still abide by.
I hate how much of a. I've been doing so good without Hasan unnecessarily. Listen to how much Hasan like dances around everything here. He's like, well, I think it's okay. I don't think it's okay. Okay, well maybe it's not okay, but like I don't think it's a big deal. You don't think it's a big deal? Well maybe it can be like a big deal, but like I don't think I believe in IP. You don't believe in IP? Well, like he's just trying so hard because all he's trying to do is not offend XQC and not offend Ethan at the same time. He's like one of those people that. He's one of those people that's just trying to like say the nice things to everybody around him so they can just maximally clout shark. I wonder if Ethan even realizes
by certain standards, but overall, I don't really care. I don't really care if someone rips my IP.
No, but you're talking about IP law, or are you talking about what your preference is?
My personal preferences and what I think, my personal preferences and what I believe and how I believe IP should be run is significally more
how should IPs
hands-off.
be run? How should IPs be run?
Us,
I think that there should be a similar structure to how patents are supposed to exist for all content creation. That after a certain amount of time has passed for like television productions or for even movies in general, that IP should be completely lifted, and you can make derivative works off of that with ease.
Well, that's like a 50-year scope. That doesn't really
not even a
affect what
50-year
we
scope.
do.
I think it should be shorter than that. Number two, I think that as far as like rigorous control over IP, I personally don't have it. I don't believe in it. I don't think it's a good thing.
What do you mean you don't believe?
Yeah, what do you mean
I don't
by
understand
that,
what that
Hasan?
means.
What does that mean,
So you
Hasan?
think that people should be able to steal your videos and upload it?
Yeah.
Which is why I have.
Why? How is that fair to anybody? Do you really believe that?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you literally search.
Look, you won't answer anything. Do you really believe that?
Hasanabi, there are 1,000 channels pretty much that literally take every.
Because you don't make the lion's share of your money on YouTube. It's not a good argument, right? I don't even necessarily disagree with Hasan here, but he's just so desperate to clout shark. He's like so careful with what he says. He's not even like staking out a real or a strong position.
Everything I do on my stream and re-upload it and make money.
No, I know that you don't care. But you're talking about like
everyone else.
The law.
Or yeah.
In a perfect world,
I don't
think,
care that much either about what people do with my content.
Yeah,
but
in a perfect world, I think that content of this sort would be heavily subsidized by government subsidies in the arts, in the field of art.
You would be subsidized?
Everyone, every type of content creation would be heavily.
I wonder, is Ethan real? I wonder if Ethan's realizing like every single thing Hasan says is stupid. He just said like 20 stupid things in a row, and every time Ethan pauses, asks him like, "You wouldn't protect any IP ever?" Well, no. I mean, it'd be like extended protect. Wouldn't that be like 50 years? Well, no. But I think it would all be subsidized. Would you be subsidized? Well, maybe. Yeah. Like everybody would be. Like it's just constantly saying like random stupid brainless.
Subsidized so that it would not be art would not be created for the
feel
sake
like
of like
speaking to like a real
monetization.
World right now.
Yeah, which is why I'm saying my own.
Like, why would I not gonna? I don't think you're speaking to the real world right now. Yeah, like what the?
So you believe that IPs, people should just be able to steal your content?
I don't consider it. Well, first of all, I don't even consider it theft because people do that already, and I have given allowances for people to do that.
No,
However,
I'm not saying people are stealing your content.
Yeah,
I'm talking about IP laws in general.
I think that the protections should only exist for people like YouTube channels and whatnot, people that are smaller independent operations, and that the restrictions should be heavily limited for larger corporations.
So how do you decide who's...
What are we even talking about right now? How did we shoehorn corporations into this conversation?
Smaller and who's a larger?
That's actually a really good question. I don't have an answer for that. I've thought about it a lot, but I do not have an answer for it. I don't know. I think like
I have
maybe
no
revenue
idea
structure
I'm talking
after
about.
a certain.
So what you just hit?
Yeah, you just hit
a
like
money
a
number, and then you have
cap,
no more
and then
protection?
it limits down.
What if
like a
that's
progressive taxation structure where it like
progressive
basically
taxation?
limits the amount that you can maintain your own intellectual property patents.
What if that's how you make a living? So they take your IP away, and then all of a sudden your business goes bankrupt because everyone can steal your content.
What do you mean? Why would your business go bankrupt?
Your business, potentially, you're making money by creating proprietary or unique content.
Okay.
So once you were like, hey, my business is doing great, I'm making $10 million a year, and then you lose your IP. How does that make sense?
Because it's still unique content creation.
What?
Which
Well,
means
people
that
just start re-uploading it, and then your bottom line is going to get crushed.
yeah, you'll certainly, well, on your old library content, you would still have like some.
You see that this is so much more complicated than it is.
100%. Look, I grew up in Turkey. We did not have access to movies when I was growing up that in a timely manner. We did not have access to video games when I was growing up in a timely manner. And the only way I was able to enjoy all of these video games when I was growing up in Turkey was...
Hold on, I'm sorry, I might be... Isn't Turkey like a pretty Western country? Am I wrong? And he grew up... I feel like I saw a picture of him in his early days where he's like wearing like a full suit, riding a horse. So I feel like he grew up like pretty wealthy. Nah, bro, Turkey. I feel like Hasan's family was like, if I look up like picture Hasan riding horse child. And I could be wrong. I fully admit it. This doesn't look like somebody that grew up poor. That's the cheapest horse. Okay, maybe, dude. True.
Cracked video games there's a massive black market that was readily available where you could go and purchase a game in a brick and mortar retail store that exclusively sold like pirated material, basically pirated movies and pirated video games. And the only way I had access to anything that was going on in the rest of the world was through purchasing through a black market substitute, cracked video games and pirated movies. So,
sounds like they figured it out for themselves over there in Turkey. I still don't see the solution of making everything IP-less.
So my point was, but that's a violation of IP. That's like heavily illegal.
And good for, and I mean, I'm not saying
is that what he's
that they
comparing it
shouldn't
to?
do that. I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do.
So you're
But you do
fine.
need laws to protect your property.
Okay. So we're not that far off from one another on this issue.
I'm
then
not saying that if you break IP in Turkey, you should have your hands cut off or something. I don't care.
No, I mean, first of all, there's no hand cutting in Turkey. But,
I know. I'm just saying.
My point was that. Okay, so you and I are in agreement on this then, because it's more of a wink and a nod where it's like, hey, listen, sometimes you're gonna steal some movies.
If XQC re-uploads one of my videos and just sits there watching, I should have the right to sue him.
Yeah.
Why
Why did he say yes now?
Yeah, if you regardless of my own personal belief, I think that there's
and now
still
back to like, well, me personally, I wouldn't personally. Me personally.
there needs to still be some limitations to what you can and can't do, because there's going to be bad faith abusers of that structure.
Is XQC a bad faith abuser?
I think XQC is working within the bounds of a lack of regulation around this sort of thing.
But it's not going to be regulated. I mean, it is, but you need to be sued. There's no
like
mechanism.
His perspective on it is like, as long as nobody comes after me, why would I stop? Which I kind of understand, because that's how I approach like IP from like MasterChef, for example. You know what I mean? Like big television productions of shows that.
And they could sue you, and they would be right to sue you. I think they would be in the right.
I think so. I don't.
But
I mean, I think it's. But ultimately, I think that's like kind of the entire gaming industry relies on Let's Play as a way to market their product, which is why
I'm not saying
relies. What? The entire Let's Play industry could collapse, and I don't think it would have hardly any effect on the gaming industry at large. There might be some indie games that blow up off of certain Let's Plays, but no, they don't rely on it.
And there are symbiotic relationships like that. I'm not saying that. Anyway, I want to watch XQC. I really want to get a sense for when he starts talking.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.